Right, and it's waiting, and we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the forum, also known as Conversations with a Sister. I am your host, Tressa. I'll let Rachel introduce herself. I do want to welcome you to Happy Holidays, where we have Miss Kay as well. She's going to be helping us out tonight. And so, go ahead, Rachel, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I am the co-host with Tressa. Tressa, I forgot what I was supposed to say because I think you always do it, but I'm thankful to be here with her and I am excited about this topic.
Yes. No, I just kind of just wanted you to tell a little bit about yourself. I kind of mentioned that I was hosting and you would co-host, and yes, we're gonna have a great time tonight. I'm looking forward to this too. I'm glad that Coach K joined us, and we're asking anybody in the audience if you have anything to say. Let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what it's like for your holidays. So what we're kind of talking about is how to have the best holidays as possible. And so sometimes, it's not always like that. Sometimes we with families that, maybe you cook all the food and they take all the food, or there's drama. And we're going to talk about tonight how we can avoid some of those things. So let's get started. Okay. Rachel, you wanna start us out, Coach K? I kind of mentioned a few things. We can start from there. We can just like how everybody would just kind of handle certain things so we can have a happy holiday.
I think
I think if you already have a
if you already have a list of things you want to go through because I think it's that we want to talk about the different perspectives of everyone and let them know it's all right to have these feelings because I feel like a lot of times we have feelings, we don't feel respected by how we are feeling. When we share it in sometimes safe spaces, we're cut down because we're told we're supposed to feel this way because this is our family or this is our in-law or this is a close friend of the family or a guest. So we're supposed to do it like this. I think that that's what you and I, we had discussed. So I think if you have a list, it would just
Okay.
give everyone an opportunity to kind of chime in.
Okay, I didn't bring all my list with me, but I can remember some of the things, and I think the
Yeah, and I
conversation
can
can
help
have
you.
a yeah, it'll have a so one of the things is I brought that up, like you have sometimes we have family members, us included, who have felt very resentful. We cook all the food, and people come and get their plates and leave and don't help clean up, or they come and they bring plates and they take a bunch of food away. And so one of the things we also just didn't want to talk about was some of the things that happen like this, but other alternatives. And like I think Coach K is going to talk to us about one of her alternatives that she's used. um and one of the things you and I, Rachel, kind of talked about was, you know um after having a conversation, if those type of things don't stop, then maybe it's time for us to have brunch, have a
Yes.
brunch somewhere.
And I think within our environments and our community, it almost seems foreign to people to actually go outside of anyone's home and do this. Like, why? I think it is for the betterment of, also, I think it helps with mental health of everyone, also. And we don't get into that. We're not going to get into that. But overall, nobody has to clean up and nobody has to worry about plates unless you receive that with your meal. That'll be all.
Oh, I love that. That reminds me of that cartooning. That's all, folks. And it's okay for us to have a small conversation around. We won't get into a whole lot of deep mental illness, but it does become stressful. It becomes stressful. Some of it is our the relationships that we have, when we're not um I'm gonna just use this word, mature enough yet to set the boundaries that need to be set. Whether we feel guilted, shamed, like you said, especially in the Black community, people kind of known as families come together. And even when we are stressed out and we know kind of what it's going to be like, and we'll still sometimes put ourselves in those specific places. and then later on we just kind of wish that we had never gone. um and we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about relationship between in-laws and things like that. So I want to hear from Coach K. Coach K, what's something you would you know when you hear us talking about this?
So in real time, I'm experiencing that with my family. It was a falling out maybe 3 years ago, and since then, I don't eat the holiday. I don't do holidays with them. I do my own separate thing because you know, for years with the black family, well, a lot of families, people fall out, people talk about each other, cuss you out, knock down, drag out. Then they still expect you to come show up and pass the turkey and ham and act like nothing happened. So we starting our own thing with the new generation. Until we apologize and can come together and clean it out at the root, we won't be breaking bread. That's it.
I can respect that. I feel like my sanity is more important, and you kind of remind me of my youngest for a minute. One time she was like, oh, you know like it she just kind of knew what her boundaries were, and when it came to family she was like, mm-mm. Whereas some of us, the other ones, and her siblings, we would continue to um oh, I can hear myself. I hope y'all don't hear that too bad.
I don't hear
Do
you.
y'all hear
I don't
echo?
hear echo. I don't.
Okay,
I
thank you, because
hear
I can hear
echo.
myself. Everything I say, I'm listening to it. Yeah, and so her siblings and I, we were a little bit different. But now I think we've all come to take on that same understanding. And what they do, I found out this year, they're like, everybody's bringing something. And that's another way to be considerate of one person's home, where they don't have to cook everything, clean up the mess, and then spend all the money. Um, that was just the way that they decided to do it. So,
Mm-hmm.
Coach K, how did your family take you and your family not eating with
Well, they
everybody?
said it's my mom's favorite holiday. She was sad, but okay. I told her pick another holiday. Okay, we can get together on another holiday. And so my aunt, my oldest aunt, she'll call every year. Like she just called 2 weeks ago, and she was like, "Hey, you coming for dinner?" And I said, "No, I hadn't planned on." She said, "Oh, well, your uncle's coming." I said, oh, "Okay," because my uncle's coming from out of town. But so then she called again this week, and I was like, "Listen, it's really bothering me that you continue in this way." I said, "I know y'all used to as siblings and in the family for years. Y'all have the disagreements and y'all get together." I said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not going nowhere. My daughter's not going nowhere. We're gonna be uncomfortable and we're pretending. I don't want to do that no more. Y'all the elders, right? So I'm not saying that other parties weren't wrong in the disagreement, but as the elders, when somebody gonna say, "Hey, get over here," you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this and let's stop pretending. Because that's the thing that's getting me. They pretending like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." You know what happened. Well, they sad, but I mean, I'm standing on it. Don't be telling me about nobody gonna die, because them same people that's gonna die know they ain't talking to me too. Okay. That's where I
And
am with
death
it,
is a
baby.
natural progression.
Okay, for everybody, all of us. I mean, I miss them. I do. I'm not going to act like I don't. I do, but I can't. I think it's time for something different. I can't. I'm
You
not
know,
doing it.
I love that for you, and I love that for, because somebody has to start it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to break this foolishness where, like you said, we pretend like everything. Uncle Johnny coming drunk as a skunk every time. Somebody else falling out, all kind of nonsense. Instead of it being a place of gratitude and thanksgiving, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever these holidays, it just turned into be a pissing party, and everybody is just leave there just full, just so unhappy.
Yeah, like I said, I miss them, but I can't do it because like again, we starting a new thing. I believe I've been chosen in this line to do a new thing, and we're gonna do a new thing.
All right, do your new. I love it. I love it. Um, Rachel, we had a conversation about which because talking to Kay kind of segues me into this conversation with you, because we had a conversation about someone. Oh, y'all, hold on a second, please. Let me get my oh, my charger. I'm sorry. But we had a conversation about someone knowing and like just continue to go, but then they'll come back and kind of stress us out because they're so unhappy. And so then we have to also set boundaries around things like that to make sure we're spared all of that. So let's just talk a little bit about um have that ever been you? I know that I could speak and say that's been me as well, but have it been you or somebody that you know that tends to go, don't have the courage, and then like Coach K, and then when at the end they're really so distressed out, it's like really instead of a day of festivities, it's the day that they end up being having mental health issues, whether it's depression, sadness, and things like that.
I know that I at one time was very close to someone who felt like that used this guilt trip about people dying or that's your family or look at them like they have some type of illness and just to get past it. So, but as soon as she would get in the car from leaving these people that she's pretended that they're whatever they are to get past it, she wanted to just talk about it. And I told her one day, I said, I don't put myself in those positions and I'm not going to allow you to keep doing it. Like if you go and you decide to be with these people, you know how you're going to feel after you're with these people. I protect myself from this. So let's talk about something else. And if we can't, then we need to kind of have some distance between ourselves as friends during the holidays because her family would always trigger her in different ways. So then she wants me to be the garbage can so she can get rid of the triggers. I was tired of the triggers. I protect my energy from triggers and I don't give other people triggers. So I told her we had to decide which way we're going. We were at a crossroads and we have not been as close since.
I'm over here saying, oh, but it might be true misery love company, but that's not the kind of company you want to keep. And sometimes when any of us are will not stand up for ourselves, we're looking for either that other person to stand up for us or like you said, that person to dump it on. And I'm glad that you decided that's not what I'm gonna do. That's just not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do that. Um and I wanna, some of the things I think people will travel long distance either to bring drama or sometimes get there and just look and say, what the hell did I come for? Because this is what I get into every year, this type of drama. Like it's not just in mental, but it can be physical. What's happened? Okay, it could be a financial burden. The money that we spend, like you said, you know, being in a situation where we're not happy if everybody pay for their own food and go somewhere, or we talked about taking a trip. I think that's a good thing. Sometimes I see more families now taking trips on Christmas or Thanksgiving or doing things where it benefits everybody. So, what do you all think about that?
I think a family trip is a great thing. And I think also PayPal and Venmo has even decided to help us by saying, okay, even if somebody, if it's about money, okay, this was purchased, let's divide this and we can each send our portion of this. And let's not anybody leave without it being clean. But I think a vacation and actually having an experience would be one of the best things possible for families, and we can all go back to our rooms when we're finished.
But also, I
I
think
know you
nobody's a
like that
victim,
idea,
right?
being able to go back to your room.
Oh, I'm echoing now.
Right. Was that you, Coach K?
Yes, I was saying, even though we're talking about having these big meals and feeding all the family, nobody's a victim because we have to learn to set our boundaries, like you said, and use our throat chakras. I can't feed you and Kelly and Michael and David and Stefan if y'all can't bring none over here. It's hard on me. instead of sucking it up, like generational things that people do, don't want to be talked about and all the things. But somebody need to stand up and use their throat chakra and say, hey, I can't do it this time. We ain't doing it. Everybody need to bring something. Or I hate to say it, I can't feed everybody this year. It is what it is. Everybody, well, most people are struggling anyway.
That's true. I think that's true because sometimes it can come from within the very house where you come, because all of a sudden you see attitude or you feel attitude, and all because the person who was cooking or the person who was doing whatever they were doing, even if it wasn't cooking, is not strong enough or don't think they're strong enough to speak up and say, this is what I need, this is what this gonna look like, or just be honest with themselves and say, I didn't really want to go. It's not that I don't love my family, but I didn't want to go this year. And so we resent them and we resent other people when we actually are angry with ourselves because we
With
don't
ourselves,
do
right?
what it takes to make sure we have a happy holiday. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're listening to us, we're talking about happy holiday. It is Thanksgiving coming up, but this could be for any holiday that we have. It's about doing what really makes you happy. It's about really honoring your boundaries. And if everybody did that, then the family, when you come together, everybody kind of has the same dynamics. We're going to honor each other. We're going to respect each other. We're going to think about what's in the best interest for what we're doing. Um, I think for some, let's talk a little bit about grief and loss. Some people, how would we, if we're going to pivot a little bit, and how would y'all, some of the things y'all would suggest for people who this is a hard time for?
So I do have some friends, and this is a hard time of the year for them. I just encourage them to, keep the memory alive of their loved ones as most they best they can. And and I tell them it's okay if you don't got it to give. Baby, you ain't got it to give. If you want to sleep all day, do what you need to do for you. Because it is a lot. It's heavy for a lot of people this time of year. People missing at the table, or even broken relationships. Not even just in death. People are grieving people that are still walking around in the world today. So just protect themselves the best way they can. That's it. I mean, don't put yourself out if you can help it. Because a lot of things too, Tressa, come from, like we just said, self-guilt, and what the other people gonna say, what they gonna say if I don't go, they gonna be mad at somebody. But okay, it's okay. Take care of yourself. So I just encourage them to do what they can. If they don't have it to give, they just ain't got it to give, and it's okay.
And I love that because you're you're encouraging. And as a coach, that's what, that's one of the reasons why I asked, and I want to hear from Rachel as well. But, when I think about that, um, that's kind of what I would expect to hear sometimes. And don't have it don't mean necessarily money. It could be energetically. I am just so burnt out. You cannot give um from an empty cup. And a lot of us are just and just so stressed out that when it's time to even enjoy it, even if you make it there, you're too tired to even enjoy anything because you're so stressed. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I have to do this, it must be like this. So I love it when you encourage those listening to us to take care of yourself. Do what works for you, do what's best for you. If you can't do it financially or even energetically, just let it be what it is and don't make yourself feel guilty about it. No shame, no guilt, no nothing, just let it be. So Rachel.
I would like to say I really love how Coach K said about, people not being a victim. Unfortunately, we are of that belief that we're not victims, but I have had to sometimes give people boundaries because they don't have any. And I definitely know I'm not the victim and will not be the victim. But I also try to tell people, as she's saying, I'm like, look, if you're not feeling it, just tell me or anybody you're not feeling this and don't do it. They can't do anything really to you I have somebody who says, F them folks. It's hard to say that, but sometimes you have to for your own well-being. I forgot, uh, Tressa, you said something I wanted to mention, but it'll probably come back to me. Um, but I think that we have to sometimes help people understand that. Like they really are so wrapped up in, I have to do this. And if someone doesn't talk to me, it's the, worst thing in the world, when really it's probably peace. When people say they're not going to talk to me anymore, I'm thinking, thank you so much, because I really wanted this to happen. And I don't want you to circle back and then try to talk to me because I'm enjoying this.
But one of the things that you said, Rachel, people don't, when people are so used to drama and stuff, feels foreign. They can be in a place of peace for a minute and they gotta go start something, do something because they don't know how. I'm like you, but I'm also laughing because when you say it, I swear to God, you mean it. Like you mean what you say and you say what you mean. And so, um, but I also feel like when we do that and really mean that, we also don't get bent out of shape when other people set their boundaries. We might not necessarily always like it, wish we had it our way, but at the same time, when you really understand boundaries and how powerful they are for you, you give other people those same rights to have their
Yes.
boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I love that, and so I got the list up, y'all, a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about two things, and I want to kind of keep them separate: child related stress, um, and conflict with maybe other relatives that don't necessarily involve the children, but child related stress in the sense that you know, also when you get together, sometimes we want family to understand that when you got these little children around, there's certain things that maybe we should talk about a little bit later, and how it can cause the children to have trauma when they see all these families arguing and bickering and all this stuff. And then this becomes the in their mind when they have holidays, and particularly that particular holiday, whatever it is, it no longer becomes a thing where it fits well in their body. So even long before leading up to the days, they can start having symptoms in their bodies. It don't have to be like they got sick or something, but they just stressed. They don't really want to go. They don't want to be there. They're watching the adults act like immature children. So, ladies, let's talk about it.
I will say that I think also that people need to the parents start respecting their children's feelings. I think I told you, I don't know if I can mix in my young adult children. Um, Trust, is this a good time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, it has come to my attention, well, my children, some things they didn't like. And now that they are adults, they're like, well, now that we're young adults, we don't have to take that. And I am with them. They absolutely do not. I was with a family who everyone did hair. So I was always in a salon where it's like four sisters and a mom. And one story stuck with me, and that helped me with parenting my young adult sons. Was one of the sisters didn't do my hair, but she dreaded. When I say dreaded, it almost seemed like it made her physically ill, like you're saying, because she said that she would have to go, like her husband and her would go to her family's function, and he would be on one side and the family would be on the other side. So she would spend a little time with her family, then cross this like imaginary line, and then spend time with her husband because there was so much conflict. And I was just like, what? Not what that it wouldn't happen. I knew it could happen, but I was just like, that has to be stressful. And so she hated it. Whereas with his family, they were just the type that were gonna, they may not like you, but everybody was going to be together. So one of the things I told my sons was, as they were getting older, I said, I really don't care about holidays. I want you to remember my birthday because I don't care when her mom's birthday is. I'm your mother. And Mother's Day. That's the only two times because I didn't ever want them to feel like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. I got to go see my mom or wherever I'm at for Christmas. So I said, listen, just go be with her family. And they were like, no, mom, no. I said, you don't really understand, but I see the dynamics of how this could be. And it's always easier to fix it later, like, oh, if everybody's getting along, yeah, we can divide the day, or if there's children, happen to come be involved. I said I could really do Christmas Eve if I had grandkids. I am not trying to upset your time and you have to live with this person. I don't have to live with her. You do. So we're going to stop this ahead of time. We're going to make I'm going to hurt my own feelings, as I tell them a lot of times. Listen, go do what you have to do for you and so that you can be happy because I want you to be happy. Because I didn't raise you for me. I raised you to go be either live by yourself or with someone else. So I think a lot of times as they're growing up now, kids are more open, whereas mine didn't really speak. So go back to little kids, they have feelings, they have a mind of their own. And I think that parents need to listen because sometimes when they're acting out, and we who don't have little kids are like, what they acting out for? They don't want to be here. They don't feel safe. And sometimes they're acting out because of that. And that's why they don't want to sit down because they don't want certain people around them. And sometimes they have other things that they just an active child. But I think that parents really need to pay attention. And that's a gift itself, giving your child the freedom to not have to go to any certain person's house or not to be able to sit with you because that's how they feel protective instead of, oh, all the kids are going to go do this. Well, let's see if that's what's really best for all of the kids.
Oh, you gave me so much to think about. So, one of the things I think too is as parents, sometimes some of us has been raised in this old school way of thinking. Don't do what as I do, but do what I say, and all this kind of stuff. And so they often the children don't get heard. I love the fact that my children, um, will they're raising their children now. It's like no, they don't have to if they don't want to go hug somebody, they ain't got to hug somebody. They might make them speak to people because it's rude to be not speak, but like all that hugging and all that other stuff. Um, and it's true. Maybe the children don't feel safe, and it don't have to be because something has happened physically to them by another person. It could be just simply they watch y'all's dynamics, and every time they get together, their body can't even enjoy the food because there's so much unrest, there's so much drama. Or it could be that something has happened. Um, and they're aware of it and they don't particularly like that person. But I love the fact that you gave your sons, because this is true, whether it's your son or your daughter, giving them space to understand like you got to live with that person. And so it's like you want the best for them, and it's not about me. You've had two holidays that you want: your birthday, Mother's Day. And I don't know if we call those necessarily holidays, but the point is you've not put them in a position where they have to be um where they have to be um
Committed to me
dysregulated,
or
always stressing
say,
about what's
right.
gonna happen when it's time for a holiday. And hopefully being the mother that you are, because I had a great mother-in-law too, and I just think you're such a great mother-in-law that I feel like it's helpful, because like you said, as an adult who's maybe been married, had children, and all these different things, so and just been in relationships, you understand the dynamic of how it can be, and your spouse gets put in or significant other gets put into such a bad position because they want to share it with you, or they want to do this and that, and you got adults acting like immature kids that don't respect their boundaries. So let me ask you this, and maybe I'm playing devil's advocate. For someone like this, is you make it easy for your sons, but what about these couples where the relatives don't make it easy for your significant other? um and then you want to share time with your mom and he wants to share time with his family. Coach K, jump in. What advice would y'all give them for how, in my mind, I would like maybe choose one. You choose Christmas and they choose Thanksgiving, and you go here, they both go there one time, or they both go here one time. Or, if your wife don't get along or your husband don't get along with your people, maybe they just go to their people's house and be done with it. What do y'all think about some of that?
Well, I think it's a great thing and a great day that we can do what we want to do, right? We make our own blueprint. I don't have to go by the people blueprint that came before me. And if somebody gonna be disrespectful to my husband or disrespectful to me, it's up to he and I to decide what we're gonna do. You going over to Martha James, and I'm gonna go to my mama house, and we're gonna meet back here about 6 o'clock. You text me, and we gonna meet back up at the house, okay? Whatever. I mean, look, it's all about peace, about me. You know what I mean? Just about autonomy and making your own decisions, and making your own a different will if you need to. It don't have to be all the drama, but I do understand that it can be drama because, again, like we keep saying, it's just a repetition of what's been going on in the cycles of life with grandmama, granddaddy. So most of the times we follow that paradigm, but we don't have to. We can shift at any time, any moment.
I love that. We do not have to. And that's the thing that I think.
Tressa, you're muted.
You muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I said, I love this because what we want our audience, one of the things to take away is they don't have to be um bound by old paradigms, as you said. We're giving them options and new opportunities, and hopefully a different perception around things that maybe has been going on, and they can just choose to do it differently or choose to do it the same. But what I know and what I heard Rachel saying, what I feel strongly about is, if you choose to continue to do things the same way, you're going to get the same thing. But I won't be the person that you can keep coming to with the same stuff. Like, what you going to do about it? After a while, it's like, what are you going to do about it? Because if you're not going to do anything, you might as well just be quiet till you figure out what you're going to do. Um, because what happens too, when we entertain that with our friends over and over again, we begin to make them think they are a victim in this, when in reality they're not. Now I can see if you're a young teenager and you got to go where your parents say and things like that. But once you start getting an adult, one of the best things about it is learning of your value, and let your value lead and guide some of the maturity around these subjects. Otherwise, you're going to be so unhappy. And it's called Happy Holidays. And do y'all know how many people really are not um, that happy? They use the holidays as a time to air out family drama, talk about stuff, and all these types of things. And I just want to, before we go, there's one other thing that I want to like maybe leave our audience with. So, as Coach K said, there's a lot of things going on now. People have been having some stressful times. People have been getting laid off. Um, People have, maybe lost jobs, gotten fired. I've seen um whole manufacturing companies and things like that just shut down. Like everybody in that specific. So all these things are happening. What is it that we would like to leave with everybody um in terms of something being not only grateful, but one of the ways that maybe it still can be a happy holiday. And I'm going to start. We used to have a whole slew of food. Most times it'd be so much food, it would be left in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 days if people didn't take it away. So one of the ways that I would like, try to leave a word with everybody is, it doesn't have to be like on that big scale. It could just be where everybody brought potluck, everybody decided who was coming, everybody that comes brings something, and if you chose not to come and you show up, you don't eat. I know that may sound a little cruel, but and I get that sometimes there also could be situations where, maybe a couple family members are not working. I'm not talking about them if you include them in the group. I'm not talking about them. But I also want to say that another way that we can show gratitude to those who cook for us and things like that is to make sure we help clean up. Do something so that we can really also show the people that really go out of the way to show us in terms of cooking for us and giving us food because that's their love language, that we appreciate them by helping out, cleaning up, asking is there anything that we could do for them. Now, what is something you ladies would like to maybe leave with them in terms of something that they may could do differently or still continue to make it a happy holiday in spite of the conditions that we have, what we see right now going on in the world?
How much time do we have? Trust, I don't, I'm kind of long-winded. So before I
Girl,
start,
keep going. Keep going.
okay.
You can go.
So there was a few things I wanted to circle back on. Sorry. Um,
That's
it,
no,
it
you're
was
never
about
sorry. Just
that people, when you were talking about kids, Tressa, can you mute, please? Because I keep hearing
yeah, I'm
myself.
listening. I'm getting ready to. Yes, ma'am, I'm getting ready to.
Um, like you were saying, sometimes it's not that someone has touched the child or anything like that. It's some kids, they feel self-conscious, they don't want to do that. I was a child that I knew, I have a knowing, we all have our thing. And it was like the person had done me anything, but I knew something was wrong with that person. Someone in my family had a friend. This happened. It took years to come out, but I wouldn't even go in the person's house. I mean, it would be in the summer in Louisiana, hot. And they was like, okay, they thought they were punishing me, but it was just like I had this feeling. So I think that people need to start respecting, even if the child said, I don't know. Sometimes when you have a knowing of, like, I don't know what y'all's gifts are. It's like if I meet somebody, most of my friends know this, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm 100%. If I say watch them and it just comes out and I just met them, usually something's wrong. It's not that I know what's wrong. It's just like, okay, I know something's wrong and I'm not messing with them. And so, like you were saying, it's not always, oh, somebody did something, or maybe they're like, you stress my mama, or you just a stressful person. And maybe the person's just stressed, but a child cannot differentiate that vibration. So that's why they do that. The other thing I think I was trying to remember was, oh, and we need to start thinking outside the box and just have regular conversations like this, maybe with whoever you care can have a conversation with in the family, and then ask them to have a conversation with the next person. So maybe whoever doesn't like to clean up, okay, you bring the paper plates and bring the garbage bags, and let's make sure at least all the easiest thing is let's make sure there's no paper plates left, that they, even if there's cans, pour out whatever's there, pour out the waters, and at least take the trash out, because then that means the person doesn't have that much more to do. Let's start having just like, let me think, how can I do this? And we were talking about like, oh, the other comment I know I want to bring up was a lot of times couples will go to, to Egypt, as you would say, or go to bat for their significant others, except during holidays, something else happens. It's almost like, oh, but it's Christmas. I can't tell you to respect my significant other now. No, you should respect them all the time. If you want people to respect them on Monday, just because it's Friday and it's Christmas, you don't allow them not to respect your significant other, because that's what we really need to start really thinking about. Okay, you would you want that person to do that? Or if you both doing that, somehow I feel like that eats away at the the foundation of a relationship, because now you're allowing it,
I
it's
do
being
too.
seen, and we're in a different time. We're not in the time that you and I was raised, Tressa. We're in a different time. There's social media, it's so much going on, so much information. Everybody has an opinion about things. And I think that if we would be more open and we would just have conversations, and it's all right to start new traditions. I know we've been doing it with this family forever, but what if we start a new tradition and we just do it at our house? Because some people say it's really just a Friday, really whatever it is. Let's start a new tradition, not breaking off, but we need to keep our family together. Because as she said about what's going on financially, we know that financial finances and the ways that are going on in in the country can somehow, that message, we know that we're wealthy and everything is working out for our goods. Everybody else doesn't feel that way, so there's already a stressor there. And I think that if we as a collective did small conversations, as you're saying, with each other, and then we respect ourselves and the other person, like you said, respect their boundaries, we could all move forward together and really have a happy holiday.
Oh, I love that. And I think ultimately, if we, one of the things you made me think about is, if, like you said, if push comes to shove and you and that person just cooked a small dinner and y'all shared it, because we will not. We will take a united stand. We will not be disrespected by your family, and we will not be disrespected by mine. And you take a united stand. And another thing which made me think about this too, don't think you can say all this shitty stuff about your partner, significant other, husband, or whatever, and then you bring him to the cookout, to the holiday,
Oh
and
yeah.
people are not going to be side eyeing him or her crazy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's like a house divided against itself can't stand. And until you really, and I'm not saying as women we don't share certain things with each other, but this dragging your spouse, your significant other, your whoever, and then expect to take him somewhere ain't gonna go well. So that might be another thing we want to consider. Like, again, because maybe subconsciously you want your family to say something to your spouse, and you might not even totally be conscious about it, but at the end of the day, it can come out, and then things are worse. So it's not, our family events is not a time to drag your spouse or each other or things like that. And I think that it's a good time too, if you really feel like sometimes just staying at home and just make it starting a new tradition with you and that person. Or if and like I said, I know that my children are getting together, everybody's cooking something, so by the time everybody cooks something, it's a big space. Do you know what I'm saying? It's enough that everybody can get, all the people in the house can get something, and you didn't spend a whole lot of money. You made this, that person made that, and then everybody comes together. And yeah, maybe it's no leftovers, but if you had a beautiful experience, if you didn't spend $50 that you didn't have, and then you going and you trying to smile, but in the back of your mind you calculating you can't eat for your own groceries in your own house because you spent way too much. You see what I'm saying? So, but I love it. Coach K, you want to leave an idea or something that you think that could be very helpful for them? And I'm gonna hang up. I mean,
So
go ahead.
okay, so I have two things. Speaking to the the couples, the ex couples that may not have their children for the holidays. You may have to switch it out with dad and his family. I just want to encourage them to be okay, because you can celebrate the holidays on any day. The date does not matter. You can do a Christmas or Thanksgiving for your kids before they go or when they return home. And also with the food, I know we're used to these traditional meals, but again, things are tight for people. And, Black folk, we going to eat and we going to make something happen, right? But we don't have to go out of our way to spend all the money on those elaborate meals. I think somebody mentioned earlier, you can fry some fish, fry some chicken, make some rice, some pasta. You don't have to have no $50, $60 turkey, $100 macaroni and cheese. As long as you can be with your family and everybody's okay, safe and sound, make the memories if you can. And if you can't make the memories because your stress levels, stay home if you can. If you could deal with the guilt, stay home and rest yourself. That's all I got.
And that is so beautiful, because I heard someone recently say they was, when they was gonna get some money, they was gonna get some money to, they was talking about so they could spend it all on that day. And you're not really getting very much money as it is. And this person was getting some food assistance, and when the food assistance, they just wanted to make sure they had enough money for that day. Like, that money you spend on that day could probably be for a week or a week and a half. And granted, food has gotten very, very expensive, but I love what you said. um It could be any day that you celebrate with your children. It don't have to be the day of. Don't let it stress you out, make you feel bad. And also, I guarantee you, if you hang in there long enough, that guilt will drop off. But the thing is, you got to get in there. When you start lifting weights, it seems 2 pounds. It seems like, oh my God. But then after a while, at 2 pounds, you go to five because at 2 pounds, if you just hang in there long enough, that guilt will eventually drop off. Especially when you start to realize you got so much more peace. And oftentimes it's the people that's coming to you trying to force you to be a part of something that you don't want to be a part of. They don't really want to be there either, but they just dragging you along so they can have somebody, or they're a shit starter, or because those who really really love us and who really get the message, they really understand. I just want to be happy. I don't want the drama at my house. I don't want to be part of the drama. So whether I can go take a trip, whether I can go out, go to dinner, go to brunch, and spend the rest of the day at home. Who said it has to be a Thanksgiving dinner? It could be a Thanksgiving breakfast and everybody just go home and just relax. Oftentimes, many people have Thanksgiving dinner, then they got to go back to work the next day. So I just want to just encourage everybody to have a happy holiday. I know Black Friday is coming up. Um, I would like to just say stay within your limits. What you can. Don't let nobody guilt you in that. And I don't know if it's appropriate to say some of the other things I want to say because for the next week or two, I'm in that
I'm in
blackout.
that blackout.
Oh, I'm
you
about to say,
know,
what you want to say? Which one?
I'm in that
I'm in
blackout.
that
I ain't
blackout.
buying
I ain't
nothing
buying
for
nothing
that
Oh,
for
for
that
okay.
that
week of
for that
period
week of
doing
period
Black
doing
Friday and
Black
stuff
Friday and
starting the
stuff
25th
starting the
through the
25th through
2nd.
the second.
Um, and
Um,
then
and then
Christmas is gonna be
Christmas is gonna be
celebrated a little bit
celebrated a
differently
little bit
this year
differently this
for
year
my family
for
and
my
I.
family and
But
I. But
yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So
we
Okay.
we
oftentimes over
oftentimes
like
over like
in
in
with the
with
dinners,
the
and
dinners, and
sometimes even
sometimes
with
even with
the next
the
upcoming
next
holiday, we
upcoming holiday, we
sometimes
sometimes
overspend
spend
and just be
overspend and
trying to
just be
pay
trying to
off
pay off
the next year,
the
and
next year,
times
and
have been
times have
challenging.
been
So for
challenging.
those
So
of
for
us,
those of us,
just
just
you
I mean,
know,
like tonight when I was in Walmart, I
right,
mean, I've heard about the crisis with the people, and I'm grateful and blessed that I'm not among them, right? But it was a lady, she had like 3 kids. She had like 2 cases of oodles of noodles, and I think some water. And she had to put back her grits and something else. But her daughter wanted so badly to have some lotion and Vaseline. And I heard her ask her child to cash app her some money because she didn't have enough. So, and I know she was embarrassed, right? Because the line is holding up. But I was just sitting there like, was standing there like, damn, I remember when, right? I remember when
yes,
I was a single mom. I don't even know if she's single, but I remember when I struggled, right? And so I just paid for her extra things. Like, come on, people need help. So if we can
and
help, help
I
somebody.
appreciate that. That brought tears to
that
my
brought
eyes. I
tears to my
really
eyes. I really
appreciate that
appreciate that
because sometimes
because
that's the thing
sometimes
to
that's the
do.
thing to do.
Sometimes just you don't
Sometimes
have to ask
just
no
you don't have to
questions.
ask no questions.
Just bless them,
Just bless them,
especially when you
especially when
see.
you
And the
see.
kids
And
don't
the
always
kids don't always
understand.
understand.
They don't, because she kept saying, because what really kept tugging my heart, because she just kept saying, I can't do it right now. Kids, they don't know. They like, but mama. So and again, we all got a story, because sometimes we forget our story and where we come from, right? But I remember the days where I had to write lists and get 2 pieces of chicken. I mean, anyway, I remember the times, right? So I was like, honey, I got it. She said, you sure? I said, I am. And I'm just grateful that I was able to do it.
And you're
So
gonna
in this
be
season too, for
blessed.
those that can help the
Do what
people
you
if you
Do what
can.
you
can.
can.
Yeah, that's it.
And
You know,
children
And
remember
children
those
remember those
times
times
when
Yes.
somebody
when
did that and
somebody
they
did that
grow
and
up and
they
they
grew
do
up
the
and they
same
do the
thing.
same thing.
and then the thing is, these kids, they may have already, their parents may have been wealthy, may have been one of those who just lost their jobs and don't fully understand what it's like to come in. You know how sometimes you have children, your parents say, don't ask for nothing when you get in the store. Those know not to ask. And you got those that keep asking. It could be possibly that this is new for them.
It could have been, but it was sad. I mean, I was just like, come on. I was like, oh, I said, I got it. She said, you sure? And then too, like I said, I know she was probably sad because she holding up the line trying to count her money. And I'm like, girl, I got you. Go ahead.
Girl, yeah. Even at this
I
age.
remember when. Don't ever forget where you come from.
Ever, never.
No matter how tight it is, if you got a little bit to give, you know, be a blessing if you can. If you can.
And one thing our mentor M said, and she's all of our mentors, she says one of the best times to give is when you are the may have some of the what's the right word? I don't want to say without, but even when it hurts a little bit. Like it's easy to give people when we got, but when we
When it's tight, yeah.
but when
Yeah.
it's tight, because that's when you really say, universe, I trust you're gonna bless me, because I'm gonna bless them, because I can't outbeat you giving. And when I say universe, I'm talking about, I feel like I know that the universe is conscious and is aware. And that's one thing I'm becoming more and more aware of, is a live um sentient being, and it hears and it feels. And when you give from your heart, something is gonna come back. This mother, you don't even know if you in the sense that she could have just been praying like, Lord, help me to feed my kids, and didn't know what's going. And then when she gets there, this happens. But you helped her feed her kids. So
People
I
have
would
done it
just
for
love to
me.
leave
Pay it
this with
forward.
everybody, that as we close out tonight, happy holidays. We hope you've gotten something that you can use, give you something to think about. Take care of yourself. There's a lots of things going on out here without us not taking care of ourselves. We must take care of ourselves.
Please.
And then that will help us to be able to deal with the things that keep coming. If you don't take care of yourself, you're just not able. You're not quite. Um, what I want to say is, you're not really able to take people that take care of themselves better, handle situations, that stressful situations better, is what I'm trying to say. Is less on your immune system and things like that. So I want to see Coach K. Just tell them who you are and where they can reach you, and anything else you want to say before we close out.
I'm Coach K. I can be reached at myreflections.com, and also on Facebook under Teresa Ingram, and also on Instagram under at Miss K 2020. Y'all have a happy holidays, and you be safe and try your best not to stress. Take deep breaths. And if you're deeply depressed, don't hold it, baby. Get some help. Talk to somebody. You're worth it.
Tressa, I think she's frozen and I don't see Tasha.
Yeah, I think she frozen. I think Tasha dropped off a while ago.
I'm sorry, I
Oh, there she go.
froze. Okay, Rachel, go ahead. I'm sorry, I froze.
I would just like to tell everybody to have a happy holiday, and I don't have any handles to give out, but I will also say one last thing. If you are one of the people helping gather the family, or you are where the family gathers, don't take anything personal, and realize that we're in a time and an era of respecting everyone, and that is the new normal. And you all have the most amazing night and a wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay, I got a couple handles, and I'm just gonna tag them in under the post, because honestly, I have not fully learned them. I know I'm uniquely brilliant too on Instagram, and Radical Transformation with T on Instagram. Facebook is Centrally Empowered Woman. So look, y'all, I would just put that down there a little bit later. But I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. I want to thank Tasha, who came on. She normally puts everything on, and I forgot to get her to put it on before, but she's been sick and her children are sick, so she stayed on as long as she could. But with that being, happy holidays to everyone. Thank you, Coach K. Thank you, Rachel. I love you both. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just grateful for you. That's one thing I'm grateful for. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Love y'all
You too.
too.
Love
Good
y'all.
night.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.